He froze. Two pairs of eyes. His eyes. Staring back at him from across the aisle. 5 years old. Twins. And she never said a word. His ex-wife sat there like she'd been waiting for this moment her entire life. His new girlfriend's hand tightened around his. The cabin felt smaller, the air thicker. Everything he thought he knew? Gone. Because the man who controlled an empire just realized he lost something far more dangerous, his own blood, and she made sure he'd find out 30,000 feet in the air, with nowhere to run. This is the story of the lie that changed everything. The airport had always felt like neutral ground to Jae-sung. No territories, no wars, just gates and goodbyes. He walked through Terminal C with the kind of ease that came from owning silence. His black coat hung perfectly over his shoulders. His watch caught the light just enough. Hana, his girlfriend of 8 months, walked beside him in heels that clicked like a countdown. She smiled at him, her fingers laced through his. 2 days, she said softly. Just us. No phones, no business. He nodded. Just us. But Jae-sung never turned off, not fully. Even now, his mind cataloged exits, faces, movements. It was instinct, survival woven into reflex. They boarded early. First class, row 2. Hana took the window seat, already pulling out her magazine. Jae-sung settled in, his gaze drifting over the cabin as passengers filed in. Families, couples, a man in a wrinkled suit, a woman with noise-canceling headphones, and then her, Soo-min, his ex-wife. She stepped into the cabin with 2 small children, one on each side, a boy and a girl. Their hands gripped hers tightly. Their backpacks were too big for their bodies. Their faces were serious, like they'd been told to behave. Jae-sung's breath caught. Soo-min's eyes met his for less than a second. No shock, no surprise, just calm. Like she'd known he'd be here, like she'd planned it. She guided the children to row 4, right behind him. The boy looked up at Jae-sung as they passed. Dark eyes, sharp jawline. The same widow's peak Jae-sung saw every morning in the mirror. His heart slammed against his ribs. No. The girl turned too. Same eyes, same expression. She tilted her head slightly, curious. Hana didn't notice. She was scrolling through her phone, humming softly. Jae-sung's hands gripped the armrests. Soo-min buckled the children in. She didn't look at him again, didn't acknowledge him. She just sat down between them, smoothing the boy's hair with the kind of tenderness Jae-sung had forgotten she was capable of. The cabin doors closed. The engines hummed. Jae-sung stared straight ahead, his mind racing. 5 years. She'd been gone for 5 years. They divorced 6 years ago. Clean split. No drama. She'd said she needed space, needed to breathe, needed to find herself away from his world. He'd let her go. And now she was here. With children. With his children, because those eyes didn't lie. Babe, you okay? Hana's voice cut through the noise in his head. He blinked, turned to her. Yeah, fine. You look pale. I'm fine. She studied him for a moment, then shrugged and went back to her magazine. The plane began to taxi. Jae-sung heard the boy's voice behind him. Soft, sleepy. Yama, can I have juice? Soo-min's voice was just as soft. After takeoff, baby. Jae-sung closed his eyes. Baby. She called him baby. His chest tightened. The plane lifted off the ground. The city below shrank into a grid of lights. Jae-sung felt the altitude press against his ears, but all he could hear was the sound of small feet kicking the back of his seat. Hana glanced back, annoyed. Kids, she muttered. Jae-sung said nothing. An hour into the flight, Hana fell asleep. Her head rested against the window, her breathing soft and even. Jae-sung sat rigid, awake, aware. Behind him, Soo-min was reading to the children. Her voice was low, rhythmic. A bedtime story at 30,000 feet. The boy giggled. The girl asked a question. Soo-min answered patiently. Jae-sung's jaw clenched. He stood. Slowly, carefully. He moved into the aisle and turned. Soo-min looked up. Their eyes met. For the first time in 5 years. She didn't flinch, didn't smile. Just held his gaze with the same quiet strength she'd always had. The boy looked up too. Who's that, Iyama? Sumin's lips parted. For a second, Jae-sung thought she'd tell the truth, but she just smiled at her son. No one, sweetheart. No one. The word hit him like a bullet. Jae-sung's fist clenched at his sides. He leaned in slightly, his voice barely a whisper. We need to talk. Sumin's expression didn't change. Not here. When? After we land. Sumin, not here. Her tone was firm, final. Jae-sung straightened. His chest rose and fell. He turned and walked toward the bathroom, his mind a war zone. Inside the cramped space, he braced his hands against the sink. His reflection stared back at him, sharp cheekbones, dark eyes, the scar above his brow from a fight he'd won a decade ago. He looked the same, but everything had changed. When he returned to his seat, Hana was awake. She glanced at him. You sure you're okay? Yeah. You've been acting weird since we boarded. I'm fine, Hana. She frowned but didn't push. Jae-sung sat down. His eyes drifted to the window. The clouds stretched endlessly, white and cold. Behind him, the boy's voice rose again. Yama, I'm hungry. I know, baby. Soon. Baby? Jae-sung's hands curled into fists. 5 years. She'd kept them from him for 5 years. And now? She sat 2 rows behind him like it was nothing. Like he was nothing. The plane descended. The seatbelt sign lit up. Hana stretched, yawning. Finally, I can't wait to check into the hotel. Jae-sung said nothing. The wheels touched down. The cabin filled with the rustle of bags and jackets. Jae-sung stood. He turned. Sumin was already unbuckling the children. She moved efficiently, her hands steady. The boy looked up at Jae-sung again. This time, he smiled. Small, innocent. Jae-sung's chest cracked open. He wanted to say something. Anything. But Hana grabbed his arm. Come on, babe, let's go. He let her pull him forward, into the aisle, toward the exit. But before he stepped off the plane, he looked back one last time. Sumin was watching him. Her eyes said everything her lips wouldn't. This was always going to happen. Jae-sung didn't remember the car ride. He sat in the back of the town car, Hana's voice somewhere in the distance, talking about the resort, the spa, the ocean view. Her words blurred into static. All he saw were those eyes, his eyes, staring back at him from 2 small faces. The hotel lobby was marble and gold. Chandeliers hung like frozen rain. The staff moved with practiced silence. Hana checked them in, her excitement spilling over as she chatted with the concierge. Jae-sung stood by the window, hands in his pockets, staring at nothing. Babe. Hana's voice snapped him back. She held up 2 key cards, grinning. We're all set. Penthouse suite, ocean view. Exactly what we wanted. He nodded, took the card, followed her to the elevator. Inside their room, Hana twirled, arms spread wide. This is perfect. Look at this view. The floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the Pacific. Waves rolled in, endless and indifferent. Jae-sung set his bag down. His phone buzzed. He ignored it. I'm gonna shower and then we can grab dinner, okay? Hana kissed his cheek and disappeared into the bathroom. The door clicked shut. Jae-sung exhaled. He walked to the window, pressed his palm against the glass. The cold seeped through. His phone buzzed again. This time he looked. Unknown number. He opened the message. Room 812. 1 hour. Come alone. His jaw tightened. Sumin. Of course she'd already found him. She always did. 59 minutes later, Jae-sung stood outside room 812. He'd told Hana he needed to take a work call. She'd rolled her eyes but didn't argue. She was used to it by now. He knocked. The door opened. Sumin stood there barefoot, in jeans and a loose sweater. Her hair was down, no makeup. She looked exactly like she had 6 years ago, except for the exhaustion in her eyes. She stepped aside. Come in. Jae-sung entered. The room was smaller than his. A single queen bed. 2 small suitcases in the corner. A stuffed bear on the nightstand. Where are they? He asked. Asleep. Next door. Connected room. He turned to face her. You gonna tell me what the hell is going on? Sumin closed the door, crossed her arms. I didn't plan this. Bullshit. I didn't. Her voice was calm, steady. I didn't know you'd be on that flight. You expect me to believe that? Believe what you want, Jae-sung. I'm telling you the truth. He laughed, sharp, cold. The truth. Right, like how you told me the truth 5 years ago when you disappeared pregnant with my kids. Her expression didn't change. I did what I had to do. What you had to do? His voice rose. You stole my children from me. I protected them. From what? From you. The words hung in the air like smoke. Jae-sung stepped closer. His voice dropped to a whisper. Say that again. Soo-min didn't back down. You heard me. I protected them from your world. From what you are. From what you do. I would never— You wouldn't mean to, she interrupted. But it doesn't matter. Your life is dangerous, Jae-sung. You know it, I know it. And I wasn't going to let my children grow up surrounded by guns and blood and men who solve problems with violence. They're my children too. Are they? Her eyes hardened. Because you didn't even know they existed until today. He flinched. She softened, just slightly. I didn't do this to hurt you. I did this to keep them safe. They deserve to know their father. They deserve to live. Silence. Jae-sung turned away. His hands shook. He pressed them against the back of a chair. What are their names? His voice cracked. Soo-min hesitated. Then softly, Min-jae and Hye-won. He repeated the names silently, tasting them, memorizing them. Min-jae is the boy. He's exactly like you. Serious. Observant. He doesn't miss anything. She smiled faintly. Hye-won is the girl. She's stubborn. Fierce. She doesn't let anyone tell her what to do. Like you. Like both of us. Jae-sung closed his eyes. Why now? Why show up now? I told you, I didn't plan this. Then why are you here? Why this flight? Why this city? Soo-min looked away. My mother. She's sick. She lives here. I brought the kids to see her before— She stopped, swallowed. Before it's too late. Jae-sung turned. I'm sorry. She nodded. Thank you. Another silence. Heavier this time. What do you want from me? He asked. Nothing. Soo-min, I don't want your money. I don't want your protection. I don't want anything. What about them? Don't they deserve to know? Her eyes filled with something he couldn't name. Fear, maybe. Or grief. One day. Maybe. But not now. Not yet. That's not fair. Life isn't fair, Jae-sung. You taught me that. He stared at her. This woman he'd loved. This woman he'd lost. This woman who'd carried his children and disappeared into the wind. I want to meet them, he said, properly. No. Soo-min, they don't know who you are, and I'm not going to tell them. Not here. Not like this. Then when? I don't know. That's not good enough. It has to be. Jae-sung's phone buzzed. He ignored it. It buzzed again. He glanced at the screen. Hannah, where are you? Dinner? He pocketed the phone. You should go, Soo-min said quietly. Your girlfriend is waiting. Don't. What? It's true, isn't it? You've moved on. You have someone new. That's good. That's what you should do. You don't get to tell me what I should do. And you don't get to tell me how to raise our children. The words cut deeper than any blade. Jae-sung turned toward the door, his hand on the handle. He stopped. I'm not going anywhere, Soo-min. I'm not walking away this time. She said nothing. He left. In the hallway, he leaned against the wall. His chest heaved, his vision blurred. 5 years. She'd stolen 5 years. But he couldn't hate her, because deep down, he knew. She was right. Jae-sung didn't sleep that night. Hana lay beside him, her breathing soft and even, completely unaware of the earthquake inside his chest. He stared at the ceiling, counted the hours, listened to the ocean through the cracked window. At 6 a.m., he gave up. He slipped out of bed, dressed in silence, and left the room. The hotel was still asleep. The hallways were empty. The lobby echoed with his footsteps. He found himself outside, on the beach. The sand was cool under his shoes. The sky was bruised with dawn, purple and gold bleeding together. Waves crashed in steady rhythm like a heartbeat. He walked and walked until he saw them. Soo-min stood at the water's edge, her arms wrapped around herself. The twins were a few feet away, chasing the foam as it retreated back into the sea. Their laughter was bright, innocent. Min-jae ran ahead, his little legs pumping hard. Haewon followed, shrieking with joy. Jae-sung stopped. He couldn't move. Soo-min turned, saw him. Her expression shifted. Surprise, then something else. Resignation, maybe. She didn't call the children, didn't tell them to come back. She just watched him, waiting. Jae-sung walked closer. The sand pulled at his feet. His heart hammered. Min-jae noticed him first. The boy stopped running, tilted his head, studied Jae-sung with the same intensity Jae-sung had used 1,000 times in boardrooms and back alleys. "Who are you?" Min-jae asked. Jae-sung crouched down, eye level, his throat tight. "I'm a friend of your mom's." "Oh." Min-jae didn't look convinced. "What's your name?" Jae-sung. Haewon ran over, breathless. "Are you coming to play with us?" "Haewon, don't bother him," Soo-min said softly. "It's okay." Jae-sung's voice cracked. He cleared his throat. "I'd like that." Haewon grinned. She grabbed his hand. Her fingers were tiny, warm. "Come on, we're building a castle." She pulled him toward a pile of sand and shells. Min-jae followed, quieter, more cautious. Jae-sung knelt in the sand. His expensive shoes would be ruined. He didn't care. Haewon handed him a plastic shovel. "You dig here. Min-jae, you get more water." Min-jae nodded and ran toward the ocean. Jae-sung dug. His hands moved mechanically. His mind was somewhere else. These were his children, his, and they didn't know. Haewon narrated their progress. "We need a moat and towers and a flag. Do you have a flag?" "No," Jae-sung said. "Sorry." "That's okay. We can use a stick." She found one, stuck it in the top of their lopsided castle, beamed with pride. Min-jae returned with a bucket of water. He poured it carefully into the moat. Then he looked up at Jae-sung. "You're really strong." Jae-sung blinked. "What?" "Your hands. They're really big. And strong." Jae-sung stared at his own hands. Scarred, rough. Hands that had built an empire. Hands that had hurt people. "Yeah," he said quietly. "I guess they are." "My dad is probably strong too," Min-jae said. "But I don't know. I've never met him." The words gutted him. Jae-sung's breath caught. He looked at Soo-min. She stood a few feet away, arms still crossed, watching. Her eyes said, "Don't." But how could he not? "Your dad." Jae-sung started. His voice was hoarse. "I'm sure he'd be proud of you, both of you." Haewon looked up. "Do you know our dad?" "Haewon!" Soo-min's voice was sharp. "That's enough." "But Yama, enough!" The little girl's face fell. She went back to digging. Jae-sung stood, brushed the sand off his knees. His chest ached. Soo-min walked over. "We should go. Breakfast." "Wait." Jae-sung's voice was low, desperate. "Just 5 more minutes." "Jae-sung, please." She hesitated, then nodded. 5 more minutes. He spent them watching, memorizing. The way Min-jae's brow furrowed when he concentrated. The way Haewon hummed while she worked. The way they looked at each other. Silent communication passing between them. Twins. His twins. When the 5 minutes ended, Soo-min called them, "Come on, babies. Time to go." They groaned but obeyed. Haewon waved at Jae-sung. "Bye. Thanks for helping." "Bye," he whispered. Min-jae looked back. "Will we see you again?" Jae-sung's throat closed. Soo-min answered for him. "Maybe. We'll see." They walked away. Jae-sung stood there, alone on the beach. The castle they'd built was already crumbling. The tide crept closer. He didn't move, not until he felt a presence behind him. He turned. Hana. She stood in her silk robe, sunglasses on, arms crossed. Her expression was unreadable. "Who were they?" she asked. "No one. Don't lie to me, Jae-sung." He looked at her. Really looked. She was beautiful, successful, everything he should want, but she wasn't Soo-min, and those children weren't hers. "They're from my past," he said. "Your ex-wife." It wasn't a question. "Yes." "And the kids?" He said nothing. Hana's jaw tightened. "Oh my God, are they yours?" Silence. "Jae-sung, are they yours?" He met her eyes. Yes. She stepped back, like he'd struck her. You have kids. I didn't know. Not until yesterday. Bullshit. It's the truth. And you were just going to keep playing happy couple with me? Pretend like nothing happened? I didn't know what to do. You should have told me. I just found out. And now what? Her voice rose. You're going to be a dad? Play house with your ex? I don't know. You don't know. She laughed. Bitter. Cold. Unbelievable. Hannah, don't. She held up a hand. Just don't. She turned and walked away, back toward the hotel. Jae-sung stood alone. The waves swallowed the sandcastle. Everything was falling apart, and he had no idea how to stop it. Hannah packed her bags that afternoon. Jae-sung stood in the doorway of their suite, watching her fold clothes with sharp, angry movements. She didn't look at him, didn't speak. You don't have to leave, he said. She laughed, hard. Yes, I do. Hannah. What do you want me to say, Jae-sung? That I'm okay with this? That I understand? She zipped her suitcase with force. I don't. I thought we had something real, but clearly you're still tangled up in your past. It's not like that. Then what is it like? She finally looked at him. Her eyes were red. Because from where I'm standing, you just found out you have 2 kids with your ex-wife, and you spent this morning playing in the sand with them like a family. They're innocent in this. I know that, but what about me? What about us? I didn't ask for this. Neither did I. She grabbed her purse, her suitcase. I'm going home, don't call me. She brushed past him. The door slammed. Jae-sung stood there. The suite felt enormous, empty. He should have felt something. Regret, guilt, loss. But all he felt was relief. Because now there were no more lies. He found Soo-min at the hotel restaurant. Alone. A cup of tea in front of her. She stared out the window at the ocean. He sat down across from her. She didn't look surprised. Your girlfriend left. Yeah. I'm sorry. Don't be. He leaned back. Where are the kids? With my mother, at her house. They wanted to spend time with their grandmother. How is she? Dying. Soo-min's voice was flat, matter of fact. Stage 4, months, maybe, weeks if we're unlucky. I'm sorry. You already said that. Silence. A waitress came by. Jae-sung ordered coffee. Black. When she left, Soo-min finally looked at him. What do you want, Jae-sung? I want to be their father. You can't just decide that overnight. Why not? Because it doesn't work like that. You don't get to walk in and out of their lives whenever it's convenient. I'm not asking to walk in and out. I'm asking to stay. She studied him. Her eyes searching. You really mean that? Yes. And your empire? Your business? Your dangerous, violent, criminal world? I'll handle it. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. Soo-min shook her head. You don't understand. I didn't just leave you, Jae-sung. I left everything. I built a new life. A safe life. For them. And I can't let you destroy that. I won't. You don't know that. Then let me prove it. She was quiet for a long time. Her tea grew cold. Finally, 1 week. What? 1 week, that's all I'm giving you. My mother wants to see me, spend time with the kids. I'll be here for 7 days. If you want to be part of their lives, you have 7 days to show me you can do this without bringing danger to their door. And if I can't, then you walk away. Forever. Jae-sung's jaw tightened. That's not fair. I don't care. He stared at her. This woman who'd once been soft in his arms, who'd laughed at his jokes, who'd believed in him when no one else did. She wasn't that woman anymore. Okay, he said. 1 week. The next morning, Jae-sung knocked on the door of Soo-min's mother's house. It was small, neat, flowers in the front yard, wind chimes on the porch. The door opened. Min-jae stood there, still in his pajamas, his hair stuck up in the back. He blinked up at Jae-sung. Oh, it's you. Hey. Jae-sung crouched down. Is your mom here? She's making breakfast. Do you want some? Yeah, sure. Min-jae stepped aside. Jae-sung entered. The house smelled like cinnamon and coffee. Sunlight streamed through lace curtains. Photos covered the walls, Sumin as a child, her parents, and dozens of pictures of the twins. Jae-sung's chest tightened. He'd missed all of this. Haewon ran down the hallway, her socks sliding on the hardwood. She saw him and grinned. "You came back." "I did." "Are you staying?" "For a little while." "Good." "Yama's making pancakes." "Do you like pancakes?" "Yeah." "Me too, with chocolate chips." She grabbed his hand and pulled him toward the kitchen. Sumin stood at the stove, flipping pancakes. She glanced over her shoulder, saw him. Her expression flickered, surprise then guardedness. "Morning," he said. "Morning." She turned back to the stove. "There's coffee." "Thanks." An older woman sat at the table. Thin, fragile, her skin paper white, but her eyes were sharp. She looked at Jae-sung with the kind of knowing that came from living a long life. "So you're him," she said. Her voice was raspy, weak. "Yes, ma'am." "Sit." He sat. She studied him. "You hurt my daughter." "I know." "You planning to do it again?" "No, ma'am." "Good, because if you do, I'll haunt you from the grave." Jae-sung almost smiled. "I believe you." She nodded, satisfied. Sumin brought over a plate stacked with pancakes, set it in front of the kids. They dove in, giggling and talking over each other. Jae-sung watched them. Memorized every detail. The way Min-jae cut his pancakes into perfect squares. The way Haewon got syrup on her nose and didn't notice. "Are you going to eat?" Sumin's voice pulled him back. "Yeah, sorry." She handed him a plate. He ate. It tasted like something he'd forgotten. Something warm. Something like home. After breakfast, the kids dragged him outside. They showed him their grandmother's garden, the swing set, the treehouse their grandfather had built before he passed. Min-jae climbed up first. Haewon followed. Jae-sung stood at the base, watching. "Come up," Haewon called. "I don't think it'll hold me." "Sure it will, come on." He climbed. Slowly. The wood creaked under his weight, but it held. At the top, the three of them sat squished together. The trees swayed around them. Birds sang. "This is my favorite place," Haewon said. "It's quiet." "Yeah," Jae-sung said. "It is." Min-jae looked at him. "Do you have a favorite place?" Jae-sung thought about it. His office. His penthouse. The underground club where deals were made and enemies were ended. None of them felt like a favorite place. "Not really," he admitted. "That's sad," Min-jae said. "Yeah, it is." Haewon leaned against him. Just a little. Like it was the most natural thing in the world. Jae-sung froze. Then slowly, he put his arm around her. She didn't pull away. For the first time in 5 years, Jae-sung felt something crack open inside him. Not pain, hope. That night, after the kids were asleep, Jae-sung and Sumin sat on the porch. The sky was full of stars. "They like you," she said. "I like them too." "It's only been 2 days, Jae-sung. Don't get attached." "Too late." She sighed. "This is what I was afraid of." "What?" "That you'd fall in love with the idea of being their father, but not understand what it actually means." "Then teach me." She looked at him. "It's not just about showing up. It's about staying. Even when it's hard. Even when it's boring. Even when they hate you. I can do that." "Can you? Because your world doesn't allow for boring. Your world is chaos and blood and power, and kids need stability." "I'll give them stability." "How?" He didn't have an answer. Not yet. But he would. On the 4th day, everything changed. Jae-sung's phone had been silent since Hana left. He'd ignored messages from his organization. Let calls go to voicemail. For 4 days, he'd existed in a bubble. Pancakes and tree houses and tiny hands reaching for his. But the empire doesn't sleep. At 3 a.m., his phone exploded with notifications. He jerked awake, grabbed it. 15 missed calls, 23 messages, all from one person, Kwon, his second in command. The messages were frantic. "Where are you?" "We have a problem." "Call me now!" Jae-sung's stomach dropped. He slipped out of the hotel room, stood in the hallway, dialed. Kwon answered immediately. "Finally, where the hell have you been? What's wrong?" "Park's crew hit one of our warehouses, burned it to the ground. 3 men dead. Jae-sung's blood went cold. When? 2 hours ago. They're saying it's retaliation for the East Side deal. We didn't, I know, but they don't care. This is war, Jae-sung, and you're not here. I can't come back right now. Silence. What? Kwan's voice was sharp, disbelieving. I said I can't come back. Are you out of your mind? The organization is falling apart without you. Park is moving in. If you don't show your face, we're done. Give me 3 more days. 3 days? We don't have 3 hours. Then hold the line. With what? Hope? You need to be here. Now. I can't. Why? Jae-sung closed his eyes, saw Min-jae's serious face, Haewon's bright smile. I just can't. You're making a mistake. Maybe. Kwan hung up. Jae-sung stood there. His heart pounded. His mind raced. 3 men dead. Park wouldn't stop there. He'd push harder, take more territory, more lives. And Jae-sung wasn't there to stop him, because he was here, with his children, playing father. He slid down the wall, sat on the floor, his head in his hands. This was the choice, empire or family, blood or love. He couldn't have both. The next morning, Jae-sung was quiet. Soo-min noticed. You okay? Yeah, you're a terrible liar. He didn't respond. They were at the beach again. The twins ran ahead, chasing seagulls. Soo-min walked beside him, her arms crossed against the wind. What happened? She asked. Nothing. Jae-sung. He stopped walking, turned to her. My organization is under attack. 3 men are dead. My second is calling me back. Says if I don't return, everything falls apart. She stared at him. Are you leaving? No. Why not? That's your world. That's who you are. Not anymore. You can't just walk away from that life. Watch me. Jae-sung, they'll come after you. They'll find you. Find us. I won't let that happen. You can't control everything. I can try. She shook her head, frustrated, scared. This is exactly what I was afraid of. You think you can just choose family and everything else disappears? But it doesn't. Your past follows you, and now it's following them. She gestured to the twins. Jae-sung's chest tightened. What do you want me to do? I don't know, but you have to figure it out before it's too late. That afternoon, Jae-sung made a call to Kwan. I'm out, he said. What? You heard me. I'm out. Done. Find someone else to lead. You can't just quit. I can, and I am. They'll kill you. Maybe, but I'm not dragging my family into this anymore. Your family? Kwan's voice was bitter. You mean the ex-wife and kids you didn't even know existed a week ago? Yes. You're throwing everything away for them. Yeah, I am. Kwan was quiet. Then, you've lost your mind. Probably. Good luck, boss. You're gonna need it. The line went dead. Jae-sung sat on the edge of the bed. His hands shook. He'd just walked away from everything he'd built, everything he'd fought for, bled for 2 kids he barely knew, and a woman who didn't trust him. But it was the right choice. It had to be. That evening, Soo-min's mother asked to speak with him. They sat in the living room. The twins were outside. Soo-min was in the kitchen. The old woman looked at him with those sharp, knowing eyes. You quit. How did you? I can see it on your face. You made a choice. Yeah. Good. He blinked. Good? My daughter deserves a man who chooses her, who chooses those babies, not someone who's half in, half out. I'm all in. I believe you. She reached out, took his hand. Her skin was cold, fragile. But here's the thing about choices. They cost. And you're going to pay, one way or another. I know. As long as you know. She squeezed his hand. Take care of them, when I'm gone. His throat tightened. I will. She nodded, smiled. Good. That night, Jae-sung and Soo-min sat on the porch again. I quit, he said. She looked at him. Quit what? Everything. The organization? The empire? All of it. She stared. You're serious. Yeah. Jae-sung, you can't just... I already did. She was quiet, processing. Why? Because you were right. I can't have both, and I choose them. I choose you. Her eyes filled with tears. You don't even know if we can make this work. Then let's find out. She looked away, wiped her eyes. What if it's not enough? What if your past catches up anyway? Then we'll deal with it. Together. You're insane. Probably. She laughed, soft, broken. God, I forgot how stubborn you are. I'm not stubborn, I'm determined. Same thing. They sat in silence. The stars above, the ocean below. Finally, Su-min spoke. One condition. Anything. You tell them who you are, what you were, all of it. When they're old enough to understand. No more secrets. Deal. She looked at him, really looked. Okay. Okay? Yeah, okay. He exhaled, relief flooding through him. She leaned her head on his shoulder. And for the first time in 6 years, Jae-sung felt whole. 6 months later. Jae-sung stood in the kitchen of their new home, flipping pancakes. It was smaller than his old penthouse. No marble floors, no floor-to-ceiling windows, just 3 bedrooms, a backyard with a swing set, and a neighborhood where people said hello. He loved it. Appa! Haewon's voice echoed down the hallway. Min-jae won't share the blocks. Min-jae! Jae-sung called. Share with your sister. She took my tower. Did not. Did too. Jae-sung sighed, smiled. This was his life now. Su-min walked into the kitchen, her hair still wet from the shower. She kissed his cheek. Morning. Morning. You're getting good at this, she said, nodding at the pancakes. I've had a good teacher. She laughed, poured herself coffee, sat at the table. Through the window, they could see the twins in the living room, building a fort out of couch cushions. They've adjusted well, Su-min said. Yeah, they have. What about you? Jae-sung plated the pancakes, brought them to the table, sat down across from her. Honestly, I've never been happier. She smiled. No regrets? None. Not even a little? He thought about it. The power, the respect, the fear he used to command. No, he said, not even a little. It wasn't entirely true. Some nights he still woke up in a cold sweat, dreams of gunfire and blood. Some days he saw a black car and his pulse spiked. But those moments were fewer now, farther apart, and they were worth it. For this. For them. Kwon had taken over the organization. Jae-sung had handed everything to him, territory, connections, resources, no fanfare. No goodbyes, just a clean break. There had been threats at first, anonymous calls, messages warning him that walking away wasn't that simple. But Jae-sung had made one final deal before he left. He'd reached out to every major player in the city, made it clear, his family was off limits. Touch them, and every alliance he'd ever built would turn against the aggressor. It was a gamble, but it worked. Because even in his absence, Jae-sung's name still carried weight. And fear. Enough to keep his family safe. Su-min's mother passed away 3 weeks after Jae-sung walked away from his empire. The twins were too young to fully understand death, but they knew their grandmother was gone, that she wouldn't be there for pancakes anymore, wouldn't tell them stories or push them on the swings. Jae-sung held them while they cried. At the funeral, Min-jae asked, Is Grandma in heaven? Yes, Su-min said softly. She is. Will we see her again? One day, a long time from now. Haewon looked up at Jae-sung. Will you be there too? His throat tightened. Yeah, baby, I'll be there. She nodded, satisfied. And just like that, she accepted it. Children were resilient that way. Life settled into a rhythm. Jae-sung got a job. Legitimate. A consultant for a logistics company. It was boring, safe, exactly what he needed. He picked the twins up from school every day, helped with homework, made dinner, attended parent-teacher conferences. He learned that Min-jae was brilliant at math but hated reading, that Haewon was a natural artist but terrible at sitting still, that they both loved bedtime stories as long as he did all the voices. He learned what it meant to be a father, not the idea of it, the reality, the exhaustion, the frustration, the joy, the pride, all of it. One evening, Su-min found him sitting on the back porch, staring at the stars. She sat beside him. What are you thinking about? Everything. Nothing. That's specific. He smiled. I was just thinking about how different my life is now. 6 months ago, I was running an empire. Now I'm worried about whether Haiwan's art project will dry in time for school tomorrow. Any regrets? You keep asking me that, because I need to know you're sure. He turned to her, took her hand. I'm sure. This is the empire I want. You, them, this house, this life. It's worth more than anything I left behind. Her eyes glistened. I love you. He'd heard those words before, from her, from others, but they'd never meant what they meant right now. I love you too. She leaned in, kissed him, soft, warm, real. When they pulled apart, she smiled. So, when are we getting married? He blinked. What? You heard me. Are you proposing to me? Maybe. He laughed. That's not how this works. Then how does it work? He stood, pulled her to her feet, dropped to one knee. She gasped. Su-min, he said. I don't have a ring. I didn't plan this. But I know one thing. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. With them. I want to wake up every morning in this house and make terrible pancakes and break up fights over building blocks. I want to grow old with you. So, will you marry me? Again? She laughed, cried, Yes, yes, you idiot, yes. He stood, kissed her. Behind them, the door flew open. Appa, Yama, look what I made! Haiwan ran out holding a drawing. Min-jae followed, quieter but smiling. Jae-sung crouched down. What's this? It's us. See? That's you, that's Yama, that's me, and that's Min-jae. We're a family. Jae-sung's vision blurred. Yeah, baby, we are. A year later, Jae-sung stood in the backyard of their home. The sun was setting. Golden light spilled over the grass. The twins were older now. 6. Growing fast. Too fast. Min-jae was reading in the treehouse Jae-sung had built. Haiwan was painting at the picnic table, her tongue sticking out in concentration. Su-min walked over, her hand on her belly. She was pregnant. 4 months. A boy. They'd already picked a name. Ji-hoon. Dinner's almost ready, she said. I'll get them. He called the twins. They came running, laughing, arguing, alive. Inside, they sat around the table, held hands, said grace. It was simple. It was ordinary. It was perfect. After dinner, Jae-sung tucked the twins into bed. Appa? Min-jae asked. Yeah? Are you happy? Jae-sung smiled. More than I've ever been. Good. Min-jae closed his eyes. Me too. Haiwan was already asleep, her stuffed bear clutched tight. Jae-sung kissed their foreheads, turned off the light. In the hallway, Su-min waited. They're down, he said. Good. Come to bed. He followed her, climbed under the covers, pulled her close. Thank you, he whispered. For what? For giving me this, for giving me them, for giving me a reason to be better. She kissed him. You did that yourself. We did it together. She smiled. Yeah, we did. Outside, the stars shone bright. Inside, a family slept. Safe, whole, together. Jae-sung closed his eyes. For the first time in his life, he wasn't building an empire. He was living in one. And it was built on love.